What's up guys, it's me Jeremy. So today we're back with a video topic that we actually haven't taken a look at for quite some time. You know, League of Legends does kind of have a reputation of being a little bit buggier than most games, I gotta say, but there is definitely quite a lot of bugs that do get patched out of the game before things get released, and we gotta give credit to the Riot QA team where it's due, and I want to shed some light on some of the bugs that, well, didn't actually make it into any version of League of Legends that was ever public. This video is sponsored by RapidX Gaming Chairs. They work to bring you guys the best and the highest quality gaming chairs out there on the market. Get 10% off your very own gaming chair with the code Curios. Check them out at rapidx.io or at the link in the description below. So today we're taking a look at some of the ridiculous bugs that happen during development of things like champions, skins, sometimes even balance patches. So let's jump right into it. So the first bug we're taking a look at today is on a champion that Riot seems to have an awful lot of trouble with. It's Zyra once again, with one of the spookiest bugs we've ever seen. We're not sure what the context is here exactly, but essentially her model is super messed up and her face is just stuck in the scream pose, which looks especially horrifying thanks to her creepy arm and leg movements. Let's just say you wouldn't want this guy running after you at night. Next up is a pretty old bug from back when Riot were working on the Officer Vi skin, and it occurred whenever you tried to taunt the enemy Caitlyn by making a donut. Instead of being eaten, the donut decided that it wanted to survive and attempted to run away in every direction at the same time, somehow. Next up, we've got another skin-related bug. Now, at one point, Leona's skins would pull textures from different Leona skins over her model, essentially resulting in Leona wearing two different skins at the same time. This caused some really interesting mixes of skins, and actually a couple of them, such as Iron Solari, actually ended up looking pretty awesome. The next bug is both Vi and skin related, but interestingly enough, it only happened when Vi triggered her Denting Blows passive. On the big third punch, she'd hit something so hard that her textures would be corrupted or recolored, resulting in a blacked out Officer Vi skin, or maybe it's just because she's burnt from standing on that campfire. For anyone out there who's ever wanted an astronaut Amumu skin, it seems like it's something that he wanted to make happen as well, and this bug here was caused by Amumu's bandage toss, and instead of pulling himself directly to his target, he would elegantly glide through the air as he was jumping and we actually saw a cool little astronaut Amumu concept by an artist that goes by the name of King Gore. Maybe this bug was really just foreshadowing. The next bug was a bit of a strange interaction that happened between Rengar and Ivern. Usually when using his ultimate, Rengar would happily pounce on his prey and start slicing them up. But if that target was rooted by Ivern, the game would get confused as to whether Rengar should jump by himself or dash using Ivern's root collar. The end result was Rengar essentially just completely spazzing out, trying to attack the enemy, but also completely failing. When a champion has to spawn additional models, like maybe copies of itself or other objects, things can tend to get a little bit crazy. We've seen it happen a lot with Zyra bugs in previous videos, but this one is a result of the changes to LeBlanc in the Assassin class update. Essentially, now and again, her clone would try to do everything it was possible for the clone to do all at once, which the rioters referred to as tripping. We're not sure if that means tripping out or tripping over, but from the looks of it, both of them are probably true. Next up, we've got a bug that appeared while Riot were trying to get the newly developed Talon files onto the PvE server. Everything was seeming to work just fine, but with one major problem. A couple of important files didn't get transferred with the rest of the Talon update, and it resulted in his ultimate's blades becoming a permanent addition on Summoner's Rift and never actually disappearing. Something on Twitter suggested that this should be Talon's ultimate when Riot brings back Doombots, but that definitely sounds like an absolute nightmare. And we saw earlier that Rengar's leaping ability often causes issues, but apparently it's not just limited to when he's actually playing as the Pride Stalker. When you hit Rengar with Lulu's ultimate to turn him into a cute little cupcake, you expect him to stop being so violent for a little while, but Cupcake Rengar had some other ideas, and would leap to attack his target regardless. I'm calling this one the Cuddle Attack. Now here's another weird LeBlanc clone bug. So despite being a copy of LeBlanc and therefore using the same skin with just a recolor so that you could differentiate between the two, sometimes LeBlanc's clone would decide that it didn't really want to be a clone of you. It wanted to do its own thing and wear its own unique skin. So you'd go ahead and tell it to use an ability and it would swap to just a completely different LeBlanc skin instead. Now this next one is a pretty old bug and probably wasn't that complicated of a fix, but it does make you wonder how many things can really go wrong with the coding of an ability. All it really takes is for a couple numbers to be off on the particle scaling, and you end up with massively oversized abilities, like in this case with Lissandra's ultimate. When you think about how many different parameters it takes to define how a particle effect should appear in a game, these types of bugs probably happen all the time, to be honest. Too big, too small, lasting too long, disappearing too quickly, that sort of stuff. Now, since we're on the topic of old bugs, here's another one that had some pretty awkward consequences in-game. These trippy Cho'Gath skins were apparently a result of compatibility issues, maybe between the model and the textures or something, I guess. Whatever caused it, the end result was pretty damn crazy looking, with the skins looking more and more like some kind of twisting praying mantis than a void-born creature, although they are definitely more horrifying than usual. And since the Summoner's Rift update was a couple years ago now, this is definitely another pretty old bug that we're taking a look at, but definitely still cool. It happened when Riot was trying to update the Summoner's Rift, which apparently the dragon was not particularly happy about. He would end up folding himself in half and becoming a crazy weird ball with the odd wings sticking out here and there. Now, as far as figuring out how updating the map textures could screw with the dragon's model, your guess is as good as mine, really. The next bug is something that's even more with Rengar, and it was linked to his W's visual effects. Using his W was fine, but the visual effects would break apart and separate from your model, causing them to trail behind you and create the triple threat Rengar, because the only thing scarier than one Rengar is 3 of them. It honestly kind of makes me wonder if Riot has ever had the idea for a feature in a game as a result of a really crazy and just unexpected bug. The ability to split yourself in 3 would be an awesome decoy ability for someone like LeBlanc or Wukong for sure. Now, it's not just files failing to transfer that can cause issues. Apparently sometimes Riot encounters files that get corrupted, such as in this case with Talon's animation files. The result was known as Squiggle Talon, a terrifying spiky monster that looks, well, even more intimidating than the regular Talon himself. Maybe he took the name of the Blade's shadow a little bit too literally and decided to become a Blade himself. And we've got one more Talon bug for you today, which was linked to the development of his new parkour ability from the Assassin class rework. Ordinarily, hopping over a wall would outline that wall with a red visual effect to signify that there's a cooldown on that wall before you can hop over it again. But at some point in development, the wall cooldown visual effects decided that they would just paint wherever the hell they wanted to, regardless of where the walls were. I think it's probably trying to tell Talon that the blue buff is off limits. Now, the next bug is a bit of a combination of 2 previous ones, so Rengar's Cupcake pouncing and LeBlanc's clone just having a mind of its own. LeBlanc's clones are meant to be affected by crowd control the same way LeBlanc would be, since it's essentially just pretending to be her. In the case of Lulu's polymorph though, the clone decided it kinda liked being a snowman and just kept on doing its own thing regardless. Honestly, these messed up skin bugs, I gotta say, are some of my favorites because they honestly just end up looking so ridiculous. And there's also so many crazy ways for it to happen, like the model being broken or animation files being messed up. In this particular case, it only happened to Heimerdinger's Blast Zone model, and it definitely looks like he's just not having the best day. If it wasn't for the tiny wrench sticking out, you probably wouldn't have any idea what the hell this thing was meant to be. And our next bug for today is a champion we haven't featured yet today actually, it's Vel'Koz. Now we all know Vel'Koz's tentacles have caused some animation issues in the past for Riot, but this one seemed to happen as a result of firing his Q. He'd fly along relatively normally, then curl up into a tiny little ball on the floor to fire off his Q, and then he'd straighten out and hover for a little second before continuing movement as normal. It was apparently caused by him cycling through animations without having any transitions or idle animations, so all sorts of weird things would happen, including him getting put in the infamous T pose. Either way though, that's just about going to wrap things up for our episode of Crazy Bugs this time. Hopefully you guys got a pretty good laugh or just enjoyed looking at some of these once again. And as well, big thanks to Riot Meme for sharing these awesome bugs from development on his Twitter. Without him, we definitely would never have known that they existed. Either way though, looks like that's going to be it from me. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe if you want. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.